friends, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Sunday morning to you. I hope you are well. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend so far, and I hope the weather is getting a little bit warmer by you than it is here by me. I'm in northern Illinois, a southwest suburb of Chicago, and it's about 30 degrees out here, which is actually fairly normal for this time of the year, but it does seem to be a little bit windy. We had a little bit of a wintry mix last night, so it puts some slickness down on the ground. So it is a great day to be spending the day indoors in our quilting rooms, having fun and making some fun projects. Quick thank you to anyone that joined us for our After Dark edition. I really appreciated you guys hanging out with us last night. Special thank you to Mama Joyce and Sherlock Cheryl. Sherlock Cheryl wasn't able to join us on camera, but she was in chat, so I really appreciate both of those ladies hanging out with me and spending the day with me. Speaking of the After Dark edition and speaking of yesterday, you guys may notice right off the bat, as soon as I turn the camera on, it looks a little bit different. Last night, unbeknownst to me, my main camera that I use for my front-facing view was starting to go. Now, I had suspected that it was starting to go over the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks that I come on, it kept getting darker and darker and darker, and Mama Joyce was telling me that as she was watching it, it just kept getting darker and darker and darker on camera. And so this morning, I went to go turn it on, and it didn't turn on. So it has bit the dust. Unfortunately, that camera was a much higher level quality than the camera that I'm currently using right now. So that's why all the colors are a little subdued. Everything's just kind of a little bit drabber. It's not quite as bright and cheerful as we would like things to be, although it is brighter, like light wise it is brighter, but the colors are just kind of drab, and that is just because the quality of this particular camera that I'm using as a backup is not nearly as high as the one that we normally use. So I do apologize for that, but just to make it up to you guys, I did add another puppy cam for today. That's not normally something I would have added, but since I only have the two cameras going now today anyway, I went ahead and added the puppy cam. So no puppies yet. Hopefully they'll come to visit us. I didn't grab any treats, so I don't have anything to entice them with, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see if they come by and say hi to us. But it is there, so it'll be right there all through the stream, so you guys will be able to see it. I set up a cute little bed for him over there, so hopefully that'll entice them to come by. But anyway, the new camera is on its way. I had actually ordered it last night, figuring that it was probably going to be going out here soon, so I'm glad that I did. It will probably be here sometime while we are on our live stream, because it's expected to be here between 10 and 1 o'clock today. So by Wednesday, we will have everything reset, and hopefully things will look a lot better for a Wednesday live stream. Speaking of which, I just wanted to remind everybody that we are doing our Wild West Wednesday live stream this week on Wednesday. Lucas will be joining us for our Wild West clue number 7. I cannot believe that we are already on clue number 7. It's just crazy to me. And for those of you who have joined the flyaway, your flyaways have shipped. They have flown the coop, as the case may be. So you should be expecting to see those here in the mail shortly. Guys, I'm just going to remind you, please be patient, especially with this very first shipment. Sometimes it can take quite a few weeks to get out to you. Cotton Cuts does everything they can to try and mitigate that. They try and cut that down, but usually those first shipments can take quite a few weeks to get to you. And it's just because of the post office, and they've got a lot to ship out all at one time. So just give them some grace, give them a little bit of time, give them a couple of weeks to try and get things going. And don't trust the tracking information that you see from the Postal Service. They try to do what they can to update it, but I have found in my own experience that the tracking information is not always the most accurate. So just give it some grace, give it some patience, and I'm sure that you will get your project soon enough. Now, I don't know why the screen just flipped over, but okay, whatever, that's fine. Anyway, odd, that was weird. Anyway, things are happening weird. Like, it took me almost a full 5 minutes just to get YouTube to connect. So I don't know how long this is going to go for. So we're going to dive right in here in just a second. But today we're going to be picking up on the project that we were working on yesterday. We were sandwiching up a table runner that you guys can kind of see a little bit on camera here, over here. We were putting together a table runner project that turned out it was the second project that we have ever done here on the channel, and I never finished it. Like, I had no idea that I never finished it. I found it when I was going through my Whips and UFOs drawer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never finished this. So that's why I'm pulling that one back out. We're going to finish that one up. It's going to count towards our Whips and UFOs goal that we had set for ourselves at the beginning of the year. And finally, we will be able to display it and use it as a nice decorative piece around here. Okay. All right. So that's what we are going to be doing today. I have one more heart that I need to quilt up because we were quilting up some things yesterday. So I have one more heart here that I need to quilt up. And then I'm going to do a couple of passes all the way around to kind of anchor things down. Then we're going to pull it off the machine, put it over on our work table here, and we're going to go ahead and trim it up so that we can start on the binding. I'm certain we are not going to finish the whole thing today. I will be lucky if we get to the trimming part of it today, but we'll have to wait and see how things go. I have learned over the years that I don't really set a plan for what I'm going to accomplish. I just start and we see where we end up. So anyway, all right, let me hop into chat and say hello to everybody there because I can see quite a few people already in there. So good morning. I believe Brat46 was the very first person in chat this morning. So thank you so much to her. I'm so honored by her commitment to the channel and how much she makes sure that she's the very first one in there and she's always here. So I really appreciate her hanging out with us and being there for us. But let me go ahead and hop into chat and say hello to everybody else, and then we're going to finish up quilting our project, and hopefully we'll at least get some of this done today. So let me pop over there. Give me just a second here. All right. I see some hearts. Somebody's spamming me hearts. Hi. Thank you for the hearts. I don't know what they're for yet, but we'll get to it. Susan, you're out. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. She was the second person in chat this morning. Teresa Lynch was also here. Good morning. Thank you so much. Kathy is here. Hi, Kathy. Thanks so much for joining us today. Kathy is one of our moderators. If you are not already following Kathy's channel, please make sure you do that. You can do !Kathy in chat. Make sure to go head over there and follow her. Hi, Rita. Rita is so funny. She says, haha, I forgot I was lurking and the music started and scared me. Well, I'm sorry that we startled you, Rita, but hopefully you enjoyed the music. And thank you so much for joining us this Sunday morning. Sandra, good morning. Welcome back. Sandra joined us last night as well, so thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Sorry, scrolling through. I have the music playing in my ear, so I can still like bop. And you guys can probably hear it in the background too a little bit. I do try to play it in the background because I don't like silence. Silence makes me crazy. There is also a humming, if you guys can hear the humming or the blower noise. That's my heater. I kind of moved it a little bit out of the way so that we had a better puppy cam. And the problem with that is now you guys can hear it. The microphone picks it up a little bit more. So I apologize for that if you guys can hear it. It is what it is because it's chilly in here today. Let's see. Hi, Marie. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining us. Happy Sunday morning to you. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a fantastic evening so far. Terry, hello. Terry with her pink hands. Hi, Terry. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining us. Terry is one of our other moderators. Make sure you go check out her channel. She's doing some really cool things on her channel. I've been living vicariously through her. She bought a new cutie quilt frame. I think that's what it's called. I think it's a cutie. She's bought that, and so she's been doing some trials and errors with it, and it's been so much fun to watch her doing that. So I'm really loving her channel lately. Not that I didn't love it before, but I'm loving it even more now. So make sure you check her out. You !Terry in chat. I will give you a link. Make sure you go follow her. It's lots and lots of fun there. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Lucas is in the house. Morning, bud. I hope you are well. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend so far. Naomi, good morning. Welcome back. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it. Terry says we had a snowstorm overnight, and now it's heavy, icy snow. Ugh, sounds like a great day to stay indoors, Terry. It really does. But it looks awesome. I love the look of snow. It's one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, Kelly, hello. How are you? My goodness. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you. I hope you're well. She says, hey there, everyone. How are my quilting friends doing? Shaping up to be sunny and chilly again in the Fraser Valley of BC. Well, good morning. Welcome back. Thanks so much for being here. Happy Sunday morning to you. Says Naomi is going to be lurking. No problem, Naomi. We completely understand, but we appreciate you joining us today. Thank you so much for being here. Kelly says that her kids are joining her for Sunday dinner. That sounds like amazing. What's on the menu, Kelly? Terry says it is fine. Everything looks fine. Colors are fine. Well, I appreciate that with regards to the camera. I really appreciate that. Thank you. It's not up to my level of standards, so that's why it's all making me a little crazy. But I'm glad that it's okay for you guys. we'll get there. Susan's reminding everybody to give a thumbs up. Thank you very much for that reminder, Susan. I appreciate it. If you guys could go over there and tickle that like button, that would really help out. Teresa says, you are treating all wrong. They need the treats. Yes, I know. They do. They really need the treats. And I forgot to grab them this morning, so it's my fault. It's been funny, though, because, like, last time, what was it, last weekend? Last weekend we had the puppy camera up, and I had a little container of treats, and so now they think every time I come in here and I shake something that it's a thing of treats. So, like, yesterday I was shaking this, and they thought it was the treats, so they came running. So they all came running in here yesterday. Now I think today they're like, no, I don't think so. Although I do hear somebody. Yep, here. I hear somebody coming down the hallway. Mommy has no treats. I'm sorry. No treats for you. I'm sorry. Can I have a pet? You want a pet? No. Oh, you just want to smell my glove? Okay, you can smell my glove. I'm sorry. I got nothing. I'm sorry. Say hello to friends. Say hi, friends. No, she's so cute. That's Ivy, our little one. You can see her tail. She's off camera. She's so cute. Anyway, so every time she hears a shake now, she comes in thinking I got treats, and I don't have any treats, baby. I'm sorry. She'll get mad at me and leave in a minute. All right, sorry. Back to chat. Terry says, I don't see anything wrong with the camera. Oh, well, that's good, Terry. I'm glad you don't. For me, it doesn't look as bright. Like, I want it to be brighter. So we'll see. Like, who knows? Maybe there was actually, and I was telling Mr. Wizard this morning, I said, who knows? Maybe there was actually something wrong with that other camera, and that's why all the colors are showing up brighter than they're supposed to. And maybe this is the true color of them. That could be a possibility. So once the new camera gets here that has the much higher quality, I'll hook that one up, and we'll kind of see what happens, and we'll go from there. But it's all me. I'm sure it's not on you guys at all, but it is all on me. Hi, Melanie. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining us today. Happy Sunday morning to you. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend so far. Looks like a bunch of gamblers in our chat today. No problem at all. That's why we got it sitting up there. Terry says she is wagging. Sebastian can't wag his tail anymore due to arthritis. It makes me sad. Oh, Terry, that is sad. That's so sad. Well, that one's our baby. She's our youngest. She's only about 5, I think. I think she's 5. She's our baby. Our oldest one is the big white one that you see every once in a while, Addison. She is 9, I think. She's our oldest. Did you adjust the brightness on your computer? It's bright here. Oh, okay. Well, I watch the playbacks afterwards. So I will watch the playback and kind of see what it looks like from there. I know the whites are showing up like hyper white. And the gloves probably aren't helping things. So I do know that. So you're right. It could be some of my computer camera. It could be some of, who knows. But as long as you guys can see me and see what we're working on, that's really the most important thing. We'll work out the rest of it later. Hi, Sylvia. Welcome back to the channel. Yes, that is tragic for sure. Yep, 100%. Hi, Patty. Welcome back to you as well. Looks like I have caught up in chat. If I missed you, I am so sorry. Oh, Lucy. Hi, Lucy. I see you now. Welcome back to the channel as well. If I missed you, I am so sorry. Please make sure you say hi in chat again. And if I miss you even again after that, make sure you tag me. You can do that by using the @ symbol. That's A with the circle around it. And then type in "So Not an Expert." And what that does is it highlights it right on the screen. So then that way I can't miss it. Although, let's be honest, sometimes I still do. I try really hard not to, but sometimes when you're focused on this, the chat's moving too quickly, sometimes you miss it. So if it's really important and you really need to get a hold of me, ask one of the moderators. They can actually access, so they can get in touch with me as well. They can get my attention a little bit better. So they have other ways of getting my attention to make sure that we can get that information, so you can get that information to me. Sorry, just double checking to make sure I didn't miss anything in chat. Okay. All right. So let me put this away because I don't need this right now. Move that mouse. I don't think I need to do anything with the mouse right now. No. All right. So I've got one more heart to finish quilting up, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a straight stitch all the way around the rectangle twice. We're going to do one on the inside and then one on the outside of the border. And that's so that it's so that you can get some nice quilting, but the other piece of it is so that it gets the edges nice and secure, so that when we trim it up, now when we go to use the binding, there's still a nice, the layers are still held together. Words are hard this morning. The layers are still being held together so that they don't cause us any issues when we try to bind this up. So let's get to this last quilt. You guys tell me what it is that you guys are working on, and most importantly, who are you voting for the Super Bowl? Is anyone planning to watch? Did they have any fun Super Bowl plans? Mr. Wizard and I do watch the games. The Super Bowl is the only football game I will watch all year long. Like, I won't watch any of the other ones. And really, the only reason I'm watching that game is basically because I want to see all the commercials. Even though I know they're online already, I still want to watch them in the game. I do enjoy watching the Super Bowl. Football's not my favorite thing, but I do understand the game. I do know how to watch it. So I will watch the Super Bowl. I personally am voting for the Chiefs only because, you know, who wouldn't vote for Kelsey? But that's just me. Who are you guys voting for? I would love to hear in the comments down below. Taylor Swift. Lucas says Taylor Swift. Too funny. Kelly says she's going to have to make another Valentine's Day bandana for Henry. The one she has is too small. I can understand that, yeah. FTW, Lucas, what does FTW mean? I can't remember. Tay-Tay. Lucas says, I don't even know who else is even in it. Well, Lucas, I will let you know that is the Eagles and the Chiefs. And Jason Kelsey, who is the brother of Travis Kelsey, used to play for the Eagles. He retired last year. So it's basically the two brother teams against each other again. So it'll be fun to see. Lucy says she's an Eagle Nation. That's fine. I understand. To be perfectly honest, I don't really care which team wins. Like, it's exciting. I really don't care which team wins. I think it's gonna be fun. But you have to have one to vote for, right? Oh, for the win. Oh, right, Terry. Thank you. Sorry, I'm not always up on all the acronyms. But yeah, I mean, really, it doesn't matter who wins. You know, you have to have a team to vote for, so then that way you have a reason to yell at the screen. But otherwise, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. All right, let's go ahead and get started with this sewing here. My slipper is in the way. There we go. For the hike, yeah. Terry, usually I vote for the underdog. That's because I'm not, like I said, I'm not a huge football fan. So usually I vote for the underdog just to piss everybody else off around me. And it makes Mr. Wizard absolutely insane. Because sometimes I get my revenge in other ways, you know. I usually vote for the underdog. So then that way at least somebody's voting for them. But in this case, I don't know that either one of these teams are the underdogs. If I'm honest, it seems like it's a pretty even split as to who they think is going to win. So we'll have to see. Does anybody have any fun plans for the Super Bowl? Any big parties that they're hosting or going to? Or you gonna hang out at a bar or stream it at home? Mr. Wizard was saying this morning that kickoff is around 5 or 5:30 Central Time. I'm not sure what time that is by you guys. I don't do real well with the time zones. Did you say hike or did you say hype? No, I'm not sure. Hi Joyce, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here. Did you say hike or did you say hype? That's funny. Runs with Quilts, welcome to the channel. Thanks so much for joining us. Happy Sunday morning to you. We're so happy that you're here with us. She says Melissa. Terry says I plan on bringing a recluse. Yeah, I opened those. Open a box of See's chocolate. There you go. Puppy bowl. The puppy bowl is so much fun. Speaking of puppies, Mr. Wizard, if you're watching, I think I hear a baby crying. I did say hike. I meant hype, but that's okay. I mean, I wasn't going to judge. If you want to go for a hike, I mean, you could totally go for one. It might be a little hard with the snow and the rain by you, or the snow and the ice by you right now. But, you know, if that's what you're into. Too funny. Joyce, I agree with you. I don't normally do football myself either. Like I said, I only watch the Super Bowl. That's the only football game I'll watch all year. My dad was a huge football fan, so I did learn about the game when I was little. I do understand, for the most part, I understand the concept. It's not my favorite. No, sports really aren't my favorite in general. I think they're all really overpaid for what they're doing, and I think people put way too much stock in it. But that's just my own personal opinion. But it does give you something fun to chat about sometimes, as long as we don't take it too seriously. I do not do foosball anymore, but not into watching football. Yeah, there you go. Foosball was fun. Foosball. Yeah, I'm not a football fan myself, but I will watch the Super Bowl. Sylvia says, I don't watch, but my dad went to the university on a football scholarship. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yep, Kelly, you and me both. I learned about the game by watching with my dad. Yep, my dad was an avid football watcher. He watched the Bears every week. That was his big team that he liked to watch. So I would watch it with him when I was a kid, just to spend time with him, and that's how I learned about the game. Of course, you play it in grade school as well, in your gym classes and things like that, but that's not really where I learned. That's not where I learned how to yell at the TV. And Mr. Wizard gets so uncomfortable because I will get totally into it. Like, again, I'm not a football fan, but I will get totally into the game, and I will actually start yelling at the TV, and he just, like, looks at me and goes, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this. Because it's not something he's used to, for sure. I don't normally yell at the TV. But I will. What, you never watched the movie The Waterboy with Adam Sandler? I have. Oh, yes, I have. I didn't realize. I didn't put the two together. You are absolutely right. I forgot about that, Rita. But I have seen that movie. Foosball. Yes. Yes, now I remember. That was the mom, right? Didn't she call it that? All right, so we finished the last heart. So let's go ahead and go around the outside now. Round the outside, round the outside. Does anybody else have music playing in their head? But my dad was a quarterback in high school back in the early 60s. Wow, Kelly, that's awesome. Football is during the cold time of the year, but I did meet my hubby during school football games. Aw. I think Tony and Lucas went to a couple of football games when they were in high school. Didn't you go to a couple of them, Lucas? I feel like I remember you guys being to a couple of them, having to drop her off. Or maybe that was just a ruse. I don't know. I don't need to know the answer. I don't need to know. Alright, so now we're going to go around the outside. This one's a lot of long straight stitching, so I can speed things up just a little bit. Still being careful to make sure that I'm keeping my line as straight as I can. I have my walking foot on, which does make things a little bit easier. I do not have any coffee today, so I didn't really show off my fancy coffee mug. But if you guys are interested in getting one, we do have some merch on the channel. If you guys are interested in getting some of your own merch, make sure you check that out. We do have really cool water bottles. I have not grabbed one for myself yet. I need to order one so that I can show it off to you guys so that you have it here so we can see it. But I do have a fancy coffee mug. There's sweatshirts. I understand they're extremely comfortable and very warm. Football. Yeah, soccer. Yeah, football. Yep. I can understand that. That brings back nightmares when I was a bartender. Oh, all those people and them during rodeo season also. Oh, yuck. Yuck. Rita, that does sound awful. Lucas, thank you for throwing up that link for the merch channel, or the merch website. I appreciate that. If you guys are interested, make sure you check that out. I need to get back on there and see what other kind of options they have. We're still working on a new, logo for the channel so that I can open up some more merch options. Our current logo has too many colors on it, and it doesn't transfer to black and white very well. So I'm working on another logo so that we can open up some other options for merch. Some embroidered options. Alright, some straight stitching. I'm only taking out my safety pins. If you guys watched me yesterday on the After Dark, you saw I put in a lot of safety pins to hold all the layers together. I'm only taking out the pins if they end up in the way. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave them on here, and we'll take them all out once we're done. I usually take them out before I do the binding. That's just my process of things. We're going to go ahead and do this. Ooh, Susan says she's going to make salmon patties to take next door for the Super Bowl. Ooh, yum. That sounds really good. That sounds amazing, actually. Mr. Wizard and I went super lazy, and we ordered a party tray, one of those little, like, meat and cheese party trays from Meijer. We're going to go pick it up later. We went super easy and super lazy today. After my stream today, I think I talked about it yesterday, but after our stream today, I have to do our family's taxes, which I'm not at all thrilled about. I hate doing it, but it is what it is. It has to be done. So that's what I will be doing after stream, and then before the Super Bowl, that's what I'll be doing. I'm hoping that I can get the taxes done, get back to this to finish this, and then watch the Super Bowl, but I'm sure that I will run out of time for something. They don't have to be done this weekend. The girls would like me to get theirs done just because they're guaranteed a refund. So I'll prioritize theirs, and I might even get Mr. Wizard's done today because usually he gets a refund as well. We do ours separately. He does his and I do mine separate. And I usually end up owing money just because of kind of the way things go. I'm hoping that I've made some changes last year that have fixed that problem, but we'll have to wait and see. So a part of me is not looking forward to it. Sylvia says she's making cards to mail out. Well, Sylvia, that sounds like a lot of fun. I used to do that. That was one of my hobbies, was card making. I truly enjoyed it. The thing that I didn't enjoy about it was just all the crap that you have to purchase to do it. And basically, you make the crap to make a couple of cards, and then you're on to the next type of cards. That was kind of the only thing, is the repeat of things really just made me crazy. Although the lady that I was buying all the stuff from, it was one of those, at-home shopping places. The lady I buy the stuff from, she does a card class once a month. She hosts it in her home, and you can go there, and she has all the pieces cut up for you, and you just put it all together. So I have done that a few times to have some homemade cards, because I truly enjoy a homemade card. Kelly, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. She says she's heading out for breakfast. No worries. You have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you are well. I hope things go well for you. If you haven't already, please check out Kelly's channel. She is also one of our content creator friends. You can do !Kelly in chat, and I will give you a link. Lucas, can you just double check and make sure that Kelly is set up on our shout outs thing? I'm not sure if she was part of that or not. I don't remember seeing a shout out, but then I have a tendency to ignore Streamlabs messages, so it might have been there and I just missed it. Oh, quilted cards, Rita. Oh, my apologies. I didn't see the quilted cards. I thought you meant paper cards. I apologize. Nope, totally on me. I was making paper cards, not quilted ones. No, you're right. The quilted cards, you can reuse all the materials. You use up all the materials. I was thinking of printed cards. Sorry. I'm going to actually move this one. Yes, paper cards, yes. I used to do, like a card making, like scrapbooking, if you will. That was one of my hobbies. I shared that along with one of my daughters. Her and I would do them together for a long time. All right. We're just going around the outside here. I am playing a little bit of a bobbin chicken. Let me just check it. Oh, I got plenty. I probably will have enough to do this. We'll see. You know, famous last words. Is Sandra in the bot with her channel? I think so. I believe I remember seeing hers come up as well, but Lucas can double check and make sure. Kathy's got hers. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sandra has hers up as well, but if Lucas is available and he can give that a check for me, that would be great. But I think if you do exclamation point Sandra, it should show up there. And I'm pretty sure I saw a shout out for her when she came in. But if not, like I said, Lucas can fix that for us. He is so much better at that stuff than I am. So much better. Oh, Melissa, I'm sorry to hear that. She says she just lost it, bobbin chicken. That sucks. I always keep an extra bobbin loaded, wound at all times with whatever color I'm working with so that I can do a quick change out and I don't have to sit there and wind one. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't still lose because, you know, if you don't finish, then you lose. We're going all the way around here, so we're kind of close. The thread I'm using is an extremely pale pink thread. It actually came with this kit, which is kind of funny. It came with this kit back when I got it back in 22. This is one of Stephanie Stitch's project kits. She used to sell them on Etsy. I did try to link her store in the description of this video, but there was a message that said she was taking a couple of weeks off, so I didn't get to it. Maybe check it again, see. But Stephanie Stitches, you guys know her. She is there. Okay, cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. One of my little dogs just brought in a super-sized pine cone from the pig pine tree. It is almost bigger than her head. You guys have seen my little black and white Chipu. She is adorable, but she loves to play with the toys that are like 3 times bigger than she is. We've got like full-size stuffed animals from like pet stores where you buy it for like $10 or $12 and it's a donation type of thing. So we got this like stuffed animal cat. Okay, it's like a little black and white cat. And the thing is like this, right? It's like twice the size of the dog. And she loves to carry that silly thing around the house all the time. Like, it's just so funny to watch her. So funny to watch her carry around this silly cat. Because the thing is twice as big as she is. So funny. Stephanie is awesome. Yes, she is. She is definitely one of my favorites. She doesn't get the opportunity to hang out with us on our channel too often. But that's okay. I get it. I understand. She's a busy girl. She's got a lot going on. I do try to catch her channel whenever I can. But her project boxes were really cool. I loved them because she gave you everything you needed. Unlike the Fat Quarter Shop project boxes where they don't always give you everything you need, you end up having to buy extra in order to get what you need. But with her project boxes, they were quick, they were simple, and they gave you everything you needed. In fact, we're going to be picking up another project box. Not picking it up. I had purchased it quite a few years ago. We're going to be introducing it here on the channel. I don't think it's this month. I think it's in March. we're going to be introducing it. But that was another one of her project boxes that I had purchased and just never got around to doing. So I don't know if she still does those anymore. I have to be honest and say that I have not looked at her Etsy store in a very long time because I have so many projects that I need to finish up that I have not even looked for any new ones lately. So I'm kind of embarrassed to say that I have not checked her channel, her Etsy store in a long time. Oh. You made your first quilt with Stephanie. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, I've always loved her project boxes. Again, haven't purchased any in a really long time, but I did love them when I was purchasing them. And likely as I'm catching up on all of the projects that I've kind of put behind me, I will start to look at new ones again. So Susan wants to know if anyone in chat is going to QuiltCon. I unfortunately am not. One of these years I will make arrangements to do that. But I am not this year. Maybe next year. Does anybody know where it's at next year? I think it's in Arizona this year, isn't it? $15 beds. I want to say yes, Susan, but not sure health is going to let me. Oh, Rita, I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, I love her patterns too. This one here is actually one of her patterns, her written patterns. It's called Heart to Heart. I have no idea if she still has it available on her Etsy store or not, but you could check it out. It came with the project box, so... We're almost done with this roundabout here. And then we've got to do one more round and then we can pull it off and start to trim it up. And then we will start on the binding. The binding is a dark red. So I'm going to have to switch my thread color, I think. Because this light pink on that dark red, I mean, it's probably would look okay. It's just not the look I want. Oh, why did I do that? I wasn't done yet. I wasn't done yet. Melissa says, I'm not going to QuiltCon this year, but I will be there in 2026. It's in Riley. Oh, well, there you go. That's just down the road from you. I might end up at that one. We'll have to wait and see. I just gotta be more proactive about it and plan it out a little bit better. This is my first time going. My younger brother lives in Tucson, so I'll be flying out Wednesday to spend 2 weeks in nice, warm, southern Arizona. Ooh, that sounds like fun, Susan. That sounds like a lot of fun. Susan, how is the new apartment going? I'm assuming you're probably still moving in. But how is that going? Is it all nice and fresh and everything's brand new and everything's working out real well for you, I hope? Susan was living in a hotel room for a little while because they were renovating her apartment. She was forced to pack up everything she owned and move out for a little while so they could renovate. Alright, so that's that one. Now I'm going to go around the outside here. And I'm going to try to stay close to the edge because I don't want this stitching to actually show on the under the binding. I'm just doing this to kind of keep the layers anchored together. So I'm going to try and stay as close as I can to the edge here. So we're just going to... it's not quite 1/4 of an inch. It's maybe maybe 1/8 of an inch from the edge. And this is just to keep the layers together. Just to keep everything laying flat. She says the only non-new is the tile surrounding the tub. Everything else is new. And now the chore of unpacking. Yeah, Terry, I saw that too. It was on a break. Yeah, I don't know how long it's been on a break, but it's on a break. And that's okay. I mean, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that's what I saw too when I was trying to put a link of it in the description. When we start our next project, though, I did get a link of when she did her videos for that project. I did put a link of her videos in the description when we get there. I did not see that she did a video on this particular quilt project in her channel, so I didn't put a link to this one on the channel for us. But the other project, she did do that one. So I put links to that one. Yes, moving and packing and unpacking, it's just so much work. I have to agree with you. Just moving into this room, because we had to pack up 3 bedrooms because we put new flooring in 3 of the bedrooms in the house. And so we basically had to pack up 3 of the bedrooms, and then we had to shuffle these 2 bedrooms around. Just that alone was a lot of work. And we never even left the house. Like, in some ways, maybe that's a little bit worse because you got to find places to put everything. All the boxes and stuff. So, yeah, it was bad. It was not fun. It's definitely not my favorite thing, for sure. To me, anything below 50 is cold, she says. Well, you would never make it over here, then. You'd never make it in Northern Illinois, then. Because the entire winter season is less than 50. My nose itches. Alright. We got going on here. Oh, that's a little bit bigger than 1/4 inch, but that's okay. Should be okay. A little bit bigger than 1/4 of an inch, but that's alright. We're going to be trimming it up anyway, so I can use that as a nice trim line. Although, let's face it, the sewing line probably isn't straight, so. Ontario, Canada, a few times. Now that was cold. Yes, Rita, that was cold. That is true. Just doing this last stitch around, and then we'll be able to take it off the machine and trim it up, and then we'll be able to start on our binding. Colorado, then lived in Oregon. Yes, I know cold. That is true. Yeah, if you lived in Colorado, then you definitely know cold. Yeah. That is absolutely true. Gladys, good morning. Welcome to back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend so far. That's why I have a treadmill, Sylvia says. Too dang cold. Yeah, I can understand that. Susan, you're a substitute teacher, right? What grades do you teach? If you don't mind me asking. You guys know my daughter Tony is going to school for elementary education. She's been student teaching this semester. She is studying to teach. Lucas, is it first grade through sixth grade, or because kindergarten they consider early childhood, right? I think it's first grade through sixth grade. She is currently student teaching in the 6th grade. Last year, she student taught in 1st grade, so she's gotten kind of to see a little bit of the different age levels. A little extreme of the two age levels, but she's gotten to see them. She was really nervous about teaching 6th grade. It was not something that she had wanted to do initially, but she seems to have warmed up to it. She's getting pretty good at it. Lucas says, I'm pretty sure. I think you must mean I'm pretty sure I'm right, kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, cool. I mean, I usually am, but I'm just kidding. All right, spinning this around again. Go. With the walking foot, I like to take my time and go real slow to make sure that the walking foot is grabbing all of the layers the way it's intended to. If you're more comfortable with it and your machine allows it, I'm sure you can sew a little bit faster. I just like to go kind of slow so that I can make sure that all the layers are moving the way I want them to. I'm not in any hurry. I'm not rushing through it, so I can take my time. You don't necessarily need a walking foot to do quilting on your machine. It's absolutely not it's not required. But I have found it to help, especially with the straight stitch sewing. I have not started any FMQ type of sewing yet. I will eventually be doing that. But at least the straight stitch sewing, it helps quite a bit. I'm not certified as a teacher, was a classified school employee, can work in all levels, have subbed the most at the middle school. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I think based on the level of education that Tony currently has, she is qualified to be a substitute teacher. At least here in the state of Illinois. I'm not sure what the requirements are for other states, but I think she mentioned that to me back in her sophomore year, that she was, based on the level of education she had at the time, she was able to apply for substitute teaching positions. So... thirsty today. I had a horrible Charlie horse last night on my sleep. Oh my gosh. it hurt so bad it woke me up in tears. Like, it hurt so bad. And of course now this leg, I'm having problems with this leg. I think maybe I pulled a muscle in this leg. It hurts so bad. But Mr. Wizard and I decided that maybe it's because I haven't been drinking enough water, so I'm trying to drink more. Which I'm usually pretty good about drinking water during the week. It's the weekends that I'm really crap at it. But during the week, that's pretty much the only thing I drink is water. But I just need to get a little bit better at it, I think. So I'm hoping it's probably nothing serious, but it hurt, man. Oof, that hurt. And it's definitely not something that has happened to me. It has not happened to me in a very, very long time. I can't tell you the last time I woke up in the middle of the night with a Charlie horse. Like, I can't tell you. Joyce says, I like your cup, Danny. Thank you very much, Joyce. I appreciate that. It is a circle cup. It is a, it's kind of like a Stanley, I guess. But this one has a very special top on it that allows for a flavor cartridge. It's a company called Circle, Cirkul. You'll probably see them in Walmart and other grocery stores and things like that. I've had this particular type of... I've had the flavor cartridges. I've been a part of their program for 5 or 6 years now, really. It's been a long time. But they just came out with a new type of cup that is a straw draw, as opposed to tipping it upside down. You guys have seen my other purple bottle that I used to use before. This is a new type of cup, so I've been trying it out. I'm not wholly convinced that I like it any better than the other one, but we're giving it a shot. But thank you. I do like the colors of it. It's very pretty. Oh, I feel for you. I get those sometimes. I have to make sure that I'm drinking water. I make infused water as I do not like plain water. Yep, that's exactly what this is. It's an infused water. Yep. Yeah, because I'm like you. Plain water is okay. Like, if I've been working outside all day and I'm really hot and sweaty, plain ice cold water is very refreshing. But I can't drink it all the time. Like, it's got to have a little bit of flavor to it. Susan says, you're right, Rita. The grade school that I worked at had 2 teachers quit at the end of last year. No discipline for troublesome kids, and they sure had them. Ugh. Stainless steel straws. I usually do that. I have reusable plastic ones that you guys probably have seen me use and didn't realize it. When I drink out of my glass on my Saturday evening streams. Those are reusable plastic straws, so we do have those. And then this one actually has a metal straw built into it. When hot, supposed to drink warm electrolyte water. Huh, I didn't know that. Education got the short straw. Susan, I think that happens everywhere. I think that's the unfortunate circumstance around the world is or at least, you know, especially in my area, it seems like, you know, the education is always the first one to get cut, and I just don't understand that. Like, it just makes no sense to me. To me, the education should be the last one cut. It should be everything else that gets cut first. But, you know, I'm not the lawmakers. I'm not the people in charge, so I can't make those decisions. Rita says, I could not teach today. Kids are so disrespectful. I have to agree with you, but I also feel like there's, hopefully, I mean, I guess we could talk to Tony about it, but I think it depends on the area that you're in, and, you know, there are some good kids out there. But I agree with you. From a from a overall perspective, most children nowadays are very disrespectful, and that's, I hate to see it, but that is the parents' fault. That is the fault of the parents, not teaching their children how to be respectful. And I agree with you. I don't think that I would want to have any more. I'm glad that my children are no longer little, and I don't have to worry about those things. Rita, I mean, that's definitely an interesting perspective. And it's definitely a question that kind of comes up a little bit, is will public education still be a thing? Will it still be a thing in 100 years? And who knows? I mean, with all the electronic learning options nowadays, who knows? The good news is, most likely, you and I will not be around to see it. So. No longer taught to respect. Granted, they are worse at home. For a united approach, Sylvia, I agree with you 100%. And that's one of the things I always try to do with my girls, is I did always try to work with their teachers. If their teachers had concerns, I make it an open book of conversation. Like, let's talk about it. Let's try to find the best solution between the two of us. I was lucky. My kids were very, very well behaved from the start. I'm sure that I had a little bit to do with that, I'm certain, but I don't want to take full credit for that. I'm sure that influences from our family and their teachers and the area that we live in, that all helps as well. It's a disaster, Terry. Oh, no, I don't disagree with you, Terry. Our school system is a disaster. And you know what, Susan, you are entitled to those worries. Those worries, in my opinion, are validated. Like I said, I am grateful that I don't have any children in the in that level of education anymore, but I may someday have grandchildren, and I'm not their parent, no, but that doesn't mean that I can't be concerned. So, well, you have to wait and see what happens. Susan, no worries. She says she's got to take off. Not a problem, Susan. We completely understand. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend and rest of your day. And we will see you hopefully on Wednesday for our Wild West Wednesday, and then back again on Sunday. Sorry, reading chat. Give me a second here. Kids are this way because they know the teachers can't do anything. It's sad. My kids were never disrespectful to teachers at school. Mine either. No, mine either. No, that would not have been tolerated. No. My oldest daughter, when she had her third child, 15 years after her last child was born, said, nope, her daughter is not attending public school. She learns at home. There's nothing wrong with that. There are a lot of benefits to home education, and if you are in a position where you are able to do that for your child, I think it's a great thing. I was not in a position to be able to do that, but I think that's a great thing. They have really high standards for at least here in the state of Illinois. There are very, very high standards for a child for learning at home. And there are a lot more programs out there now for that type of thing than there were back when my girls were little, even when my girls were little, and especially when I was little. Um, you know, you have to make decisions based on what's best for you and what's best for your child. And unfortunately nowadays, with the way the education program is going, more and more people may be choosing that route. Melissa says she's about to start her Wild West clue number 7. Well, Melissa, make sure you post pictures of it in our Facebook group. We would love to see what your colorway is. Lucas and I will be working on ours on Wednesday. Lucas, you did get yours in the mail, right? I'm just checking to make sure you got it. The last time we had talked, you hadn't gotten it yet, but you said you also hadn't checked the mail. Must be nice to be in those days where you don't have to check the mail every day. Let's see. Homeschool is out for us, but I wish my grandson could go to the Stern school. Yeah, okay. Granddaughter is homeschooled since the pandemic. She's doing amazingly, but she attends classes online in Zoom setting. She is not isolated, so she's not isolated. Gladys says, I finished sewing the sections together on the elephant FPP. Oh, Gladys, I would love to see that. Did you post pictures of it somewhere? I'd love to see what that looks like. COVID thing about kids' education. 100%, Rita. I agree with you. I think a lot of parents learned a lot. Yeah, I agree. I hope that it at least opened their eyes up and helped respect the teachers a little bit more. Oh, looks like I'm going to have a little bit of an overlap here. That's alright. Not too bad. Alright, we're just at the end here, so I'm going to go ahead and backstitch this and then pull it off. Alright, so let's bring it over to our workstation now. You guys remember this awesome table that Mr. Wizard helped me put together? It has been fantastic. I've already used it 4 or 5 times now. It's great. And I love the fact that it's portable. So in my space, the fact that it's portable and I can fold it all down and stack it up against something. Oh, Sandra just redeemed her Symbols in for a Notion. Congratulations on that, Sandra. That'll be out in the mail later this month. You should have received, if you redeemed anything in January, you should have received those already. So, anyway, so this is the table with the work space that Mr. Wizard and I put together, and I absolutely love it. It's amazing. It's working out really, really well for me. So let's go ahead and pull the rest of our pins out. There aren't many left, but we'll go ahead and pull those, and then we're going to trim this up, and then we're going to start putting our binding together. Now, I do have it cut. I just don't have it sewn up. Let me see, what am I doing here? Pins. That's what I was doing. There we go. Oh, Sandra says she loves getting notions from Danny. Well, thank you very much for that, Sandra. I appreciate that. I have a whole box of them. I try to send you something different whenever I can. I don't keep a track of what I'm sending you, but I do try to send you something different each time. In fact, my box is starting to look a little bit low, so I've been looking online and for places to buy things in bulk, because I do buy them in bulk, because I give away quite a few of them. So Sylvia says, just received mine, fun times. But yes, Sylvia, I saw the posting on our Facebook group. Thank you very much for that. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Sylvia was able to redeem her thimbles in for a pattern as well, which is not something that anyone else has done yet. So I was really excited for that. So hopefully that pattern is helpful to you. It was a purchase pattern, so it's not like I'm going online and just sending you freebie stuff. There's a value to it. Not, a ton of value, but some value. Alright, let's see if I can trim up all these threads real quick. There's a bunch of them here. Sandra says, I love receiving a mystery gift. Well, that's great. I am glad. right, there's that one. Let's roll it again and check for threads. Roll one more time, checking for threads. Nope, got them all. Okay. Alright, so now let's go ahead, and I think I'm going to turn my cutting mat this way. Because I'm going to trim it going this way. Start out like this. Go. Alright, grab my cutting wheel. Probably should change the blade. We'll give it a try, and if it gives me some trouble, we'll change it. I change my blade a lot. I change it often. Alright. So I'm just going to take my thing here. That's a little bit farther than my reach. Let's bring this down a little bit. Trying to line that up as much as I can, just trying to make it straight. There we go. I'm just going to kind of cut in the middle somewhere all the way out. There we go. Slide it up. Terry says, I had to order a new microwave. It died during the night in its sleep. LOL. So that's a TV and a microwave in 2 weeks. Yikes. That sounds like a little bit of an expensive couple of weeks for you. Mr. Wizard and I actually had to buy a new microwave not too long ago ourselves. We have one of those over-the-range ones. Oh my god, they're so expensive. I told Mr. Wizard, I'm like, I'm at a point, like, we're just going to leave the dead one there and we're going to buy one that goes on the counter. Like, it was so expensive. I could not believe how pricey that was. But we did end up buying a new one. Luckily, I was able to find a deal. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's spin this now. Acute bronchitis, Terry. Oh my goodness, you poor thing. Also allergic to dogs. My goodness. Trying to line this up here. Make sure it's kind of semi-straight. I'm sure that I am allergic to our animals to some degree because I have to take allergy medicine year round. I just have never been tested for animal allergies, and honestly, I'm not sure I want to know. I'm not sure I want to know. I think we'll just keep it a mystery. some of my scrap pieces. Oh, I'll just leave them there. It already looks so much better being trimmed up just that little bit. Already looks so much nice and neater. Hi Dawn, welcome back to the channel. It's so great to see you. She says, whoa, I am late and apparently on daylight savings time. No worries, Dawn. No worries. We understand. It's okay. For those of you who don't know, Dawn does have her own channel. Make sure you go check her out. You can do !Dawn in chat. Lucas, I didn't see a shout out for Dawn. Did I miss it? Alright. We are just trimming up a newly quilted table runner that we're working on. We started it yesterday. We sandwiched it up yesterday on our After Dark edition, and now I've been quilting it up yesterday and today. Just finished quilting it, so now I'm trimming it up, and then we're going to get started on our binding. I'm certain that we're not going to finish the binding on the channel today. I'll have to finish it off camera, I'm sure, but we can at least get it started. I do have the pieces already cut. They just have to be sewn up together. So I'm not even close to straight there. There we go. Lucas says there was one. Oh, okay. I must have missed it. I ignore Streamlabs, so it's possible that I missed it. Thank you for noticing it. I try to ignore the Streamlabs messages, so I don't always see everything the way I'm supposed to. Go. And yes, there was a shout out with a link. Thank you. Oh, awesome. Terry says, I used some of the binding strips you sent me on a small wall hanging and it worked out very well. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you were able to use them. Whenever I have extra pieces of my binding strips, I always throw them into my scrap bin so that either they can be used for another project later on or they end up being sent to you guys as part of the Scrap Busters Club. So I'm glad to hear that you were able to get them to work for you. Go. Awesome. So like pieces like this where there's big strips of pieces, they're kind of a chunky piece. These will get thrown into the Scrap Busters box because they're large enough that somebody could use them for something. So they'll get thrown into the Scrap Busters box, and then at least once a year, sometimes twice a year, it just depends on how many projects we finish. They end up in the Scrap Busters bin. And all of our Scrap Busters end up with a box of scrap fabric. If you're interested in becoming a member of the Scrap Busters Club, you do have to be a member of the channel on YouTube. There's a button down there at the bottom that's got a little $sign. And basically, you can be a member of any one of the memberships is fine. The least expensive is I think it's $2.99 a month, $1.99 a month. I don't remember. I know that's the least expensive option. That's our Thumbelina Club. And basically what that does is it ends up paying, over the course of the year, it ends up paying for the postage of the box. The box is an 8x8x4 box that ends up being stuffed with scrap pieces of fabric. And that's how we end up with things. So these pieces will go into my scrap box. These pieces will go into my batting scraps because I do keep my batting scraps as well, so that we can use them for other little projects on the channel. And now we are ready to start our binding, but I do need to find a different color thread. I think I'm going to try and find a red thread. Let me just look here for a second. But this red is full of fuzzies. So let me just grab that real quick. It's kind of making me a little crazy. Lint roller is one of the best tools you can have in your arsenal in your sewing room. Gets rid of all the fuzzies from the batting. It gets rid of all the extra threads from stuff. It just so satisfying to get rid of that stuff. Alright. For those of you who did not join us yesterday for the After Dark edition, let me show you what this table runner looks like. Ta-da! Go this way. This way. There we go. This is what it looks like. It's a little smaller than normal. It's a little bit smaller than it normally would be, but very pretty nonetheless. I absolutely love it. The pattern is called Heart to Heart. It was a Stephanie Stitches exclusive pattern as part of one of her project boxes. So there, we have that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it came with the fabric, and she coordinated all of it, including the pattern, which I absolutely loved. Now I've got the binding over here. The dark red binding. You guys can see it here. So I think I have some red thread. Let me check. If not, I know I have some darker color threads. So let's see what I've got up here. Hold on just a second. Let me see. I've got this one here. This one here. And I've got a bright red here. So let's see what we've got. Let's see what works best. Now, because you do see the thread on a binding, I like to try and match up the color as close as I can. Because like I said, you do see it. So you don't want it to be, I mean, unless you're going for a contrasting look, then you'd want it there. But I don't want a contrasting look too much. So that's why I'm trying to figure out the best color. And I actually think the bright red is actually going to work the best. This one would be okay. This one's out. I actually think that one's going to work best. See if I can get the thread out, pull it out, see if I can figure out what it looks like. Can we see the quilting? We can try, sure. It's just straight stitch in the ditch quilting, but yeah, I can show it to you. I don't have a zoom camera, so because I'm using the zoom camera as my backup today, but I can try and show it to you. Sure. Give me just a second. There we go. Just checking on thread colors here. Oh wow, that dark actually blends in almost seamlessly. You don't really see it at all. See, this is why it pays to actually pull the thread off the reel and line it up next to the fabric. Because doing that, I thought the dark was going to be showing up too much, but laying it out, the thread actually out, the dark blends in almost seamlessly. So that's what we're going to end up using, I guess. I just hope there's enough here. Yikes. I hope there's enough there. We'll have to wait and see. Alright. Can we see the quilting? Yes, yes, yes. Give me just a second. Let me put these back up here. I'm not sure how I would show that to you though. Because it's pretty tight. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me try this. Let me try over here. Give me a second. Let me see if I can. It's just straight stitch, so it's kind of hard for you guys to see that way. You can kind of see it a little bit on the back end. See the lines a little bit. It's just straight stitch. I just went around the outside of the hearts. You can kind of see it a little bit there. So, nothing fancy, just straight stitch sewing. Terry says, I'm moving us to the kitchen. Don't get dizzy. All right. All right, let me switch out my thread real quick, and then we're going to start quilting that, or doing the binding. I do have to turn out my foot as well. I don't want to use my walking foot for the binding. So, grab that also. And I don't really need my walking foot for anything else anyway, so it's fine if I take it off. We are using this light pink thread that I was using today. We are using that with our Wild Meadow project, so I'm just gonna drop that back in that project bin. Actually, I'll put it up here and I'll drop it in there once we have it. Yep. Might be enough. I guess we'll find out. Need to buy another thing of this color. Fortunately, though, I don't know what color it is. It came in a multi-pack of colors because I was trying to buy orange, which apparently orange is really difficult to find right now. But it came in a multi-pack of colors, and I really liked it. And now I need to figure out how to get more of it. Need to figure out what color it is so I can get more. Sylvia says she's taken off. No problem, Sylvia. We totally understand. You have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I'm going to take my walking foot off here. Give me just a second here, folks. I just changed out my needle not too long ago. So usually when I'm changing my feet, I'll think about, should I change my needle? I just changed it. Gosh, I want to say last week, so it's probably okay. I'll just leave it the way it is for now. Go ahead and clean out the dust before I put it back away. There we go. And there. Here. John says, I used to use a walking foot while binding, but quit, and it binds just fine without it. Yeah, I don't use my walking foot with my binding. I prefer to use my guided presser foot, so then that way I know that I'm getting it at 1/4 of an inch. So I'm taking mine off right now. There we go. Where's my presser foot? Here it is. I don't want this one just yet. I've got to use the other one first. I gotta grab my clear one first because we have to sew these strips together on a bias, and then I can do that. We're gonna need the iron as well, which is just off camera here, so not a big deal. If I need it by then. Let's see. Don't need my quilting gloves for a little while yet. Dawn says, we'll post a picture of this after it's bound in YouTube community page. Will I post a picture? Yes. Yes, I can. Yes, absolutely. I need to get better at that. I need to get better at remembering to post pictures in the community page because I know not everybody is in Facebook. That is usually where I post pictures of things, although, let's face it, sometimes even there I forget. But yes, I will try to remember to post it in our community page as well. It's a pretty one. I really like it. I've always liked it. I was kind of shocked when I found it in my Whips and UFOs bin that I hadn't finished it. Like, what is wrong with me? Yes, a pooch cam with no pooch. Yes, they. Let's see if I can get them to come in. They think it's treats. It's not treats. I can hear them coming down the hall. They went the wrong way, though. Mommy's down here! They went running towards the kitchen. There's one. Hi! How are you? Yeah, Mommy has no treats. Bullshit. Oh, there's a big one. There's a little one. She just got a haircut. So there you go. They usually hang out with Mr. Wizard. They like Mr. Wizard better than me. Because he feeds them. He feeds them their meals, so they like him better. But I did have the puppy cam up just in case. So, alright, let's go ahead and sew these strips together. I'm not sure how much of this we're going to get done today. But we're going to give it a go. We're going to give it a go. So we're going to sew these up on the bias. So that means one on top of the other at an angle. And then sew corner to corner. Right sides together. There's one. Too funny, I thought my dogs were the only ones that did that. Oh no, they're goofy. Especially the youngest one. She's the red and white one, I guess you would call her. She's the medium-sized dog, but she's actually the youngest one. She is extremely food motivated. Like, she will not do anything unless there's food involved. And then if there's food involved, you can't get rid of her. Hopefully this is enough strips. I've only got 3 strips to go all the way around. Hopefully that's enough. I guess we'll find out. Because I don't have any extra of this fabric because I think I got rid of the extra fabric already. Usually on a table runner, I'll use 4 strips instead of just 3, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright. Separate these. I'm gonna have to reach over you guys here in just a second and reach the iron. Grab this out of the way. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't even need this anymore. There's so much crap stuffed over here. I gotta get better. I gotta get more organized here. Go. This is my oversized wool pressing mat I've been using just because I have this table up. When I don't have this table up, I don't normally use this large one. I usually use the smaller one. This is extra. I'm gonna put this over here. Otherwise I'm gonna lose it. There's this. This can go over there. Grab. My iron is just off camera right here. We're gonna have to let that get warm for a minute. It'll take a couple minutes to get warm. And we will get that going. Yes, Dawn, you are correct. The owner of the Chicago Bears did pass away. She was 102 years old. Her son, from what I understand, Mr. Wizard has said, her son has taken over, or did take over before she, passed. Don wants to know if anyone has any Super Bowl plans. Don, we were talking about that earlier. A couple of people are making some fun dishes, but nobody really mentioned anything about any super fun plans. Grab scissors. Nobody mentioned anything, but it's always good to ask again. I'm going to go ahead and trim these up while we're waiting for the iron to warm up. The iron only takes a second to warm up. I think it's 60 seconds if I'm... So we're trimming them up 1/4 of an inch. Dawn says she has sewing plans. She's not interested in teams. That makes sense. I agree with you there. I have, Mr. Wizard and I usually watch the Super Bowl. I was telling everybody earlier, the Super Bowl is the only football game I'll watch all year long. I don't really watch any of the other games. I do know about the game. I know, the basic concept of the game, having watched football when I was a kid with my dad, but it's just not something it's not my cup of tea. I'm usually in here while Mr. Wizard is watching football games, when he watches them. But we will watch the Super Bowl, more so for the entertainment of it than for any other purpose. But I have to do our taxes today as well, so I'll be working on that also. Making a new video. There you go. That's what Rita says she will be doing, is making a new video. Rita, I believe we have a link set up for your channel on our, but if not, I'm sure Lucas can take care of that for us. If you do ! Rita and chat, should give you a link to her channel. Hopefully. If we have it set up correctly. Alright, let's go ahead. We're going to open these seams up. The iron's warm now, so we're going to go ahead and iron the seams open first. Ooh. I feel like there's something wrong with my iron is a little sticky. Clean that off. Hang on. I was doing some starch work yesterday with the iron, and it's a little sticky, so I'm just going to wash it real quick. Just got a dry washcloth here and some water. I'm going to spray the washcloth, healthy amount of water, get it nice and wet, and then just iron it. Usually I wet the washcloth, I get it really wet, but I'm not going to leave to do that. Flip this over, do this side now. Just some water. That seems to be the very best thing I have found to clean my iron. There we go. There we go. Much better. This is a little warm. So we'll let that cool off a second before we hang it back on our wood doors. Oh, that explains a lot, actually. Alright. There's that one. Let's grab the next one. Open this one up. Let's see. Rita says, I have 2 quilts that are ready for binding. Not sure why I'm afraid of doing the binding. LOL. Rita, I think Mama Joyce would be in the same boat as you. She is intimidated by the binding. She's done one. She did her, and it was a little intimidating for her, so now she's a little hesitant to do more. But, like they say, practice makes perfect. And eventually it works itself out. Binding was intimidating to me as well in the beginning, but it has since become a rather easy task. So, alright, so now I'm going to fold my binding in half and go ahead and iron this all the way down. There we go. Moving the table over so I have something to hang it over the side of. Usually it's hanging off the edge of my little table that I use, but I don't normally use this big one to do this, so this is new. if it looks like the color is changing a little bit when the iron hits it, that is because it does. For some reason, this red fabric gets a little bit darker when it gets warmer. I'm not 100% sure I know why, but it does, so kind of is what it is. So folding it in half. This was years ago, but just went hand-sewed binding. When I was finished, I realized there was no backing. Ha ha ha. Hope do not take it apart either. Nope, did not take it apart either. Oh gosh, that would be frustrating. I've done something similar, like I machine sew my binding on, and I've had it where the layers, the backing layer has folded underneath, and I didn't realize it, and so it didn't actually get sewn underneath the binding. It was just kind of flipped up. I've done that, so I just go back over it with some X stitches. I don't take it all apart either myself. Like they say, done is better than perfect. Some people roll their binding after they're done ironing it. I don't bother. I just let it throw onto the floor. I just let it throw onto the floor, and I just make sure that I have an edge of it, and I just work with it that way. Just a quick top stitch. Yep, that's exactly it. Yep. The music seems to have stopped, which always makes me a little nervous. Dumb. No. Done. Done is better. Sorry, guess I need to enunciate better. Well, the good news is it looks like I'm still live, but for whatever reason, my music has stopped. And I'm not going to touch it because the last time I did that, it ended up disconnecting us. So I'm just going to leave it alone. And if the music comes back on, great. If not, that's fine too. Although it does say that it's working, so I wonder if it's just in my headset that stopped working. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm not hearing anything. Maybe you guys can hear it and I can't. Who knows? Because it's showing that it's playing something. Who knows? Oh, now I can hear it. There it is again. I need to get my hearing checked. It's not you. Well, I do mumble. I do mumble sometimes. Mama Joyce is always yelling at me for mumbling. You see and hear. Okay, good. Good. Maybe it took a break. I think it was just a really quiet intro to this particular song, and I couldn't hear it because I have my music down really low. And that's all it was. Because I could see it registering on the sound bar, so I knew it was happening. It just didn't hear anything. So sometimes that happens. But that's usually my indicator when something is going wrong, is the music is usually the first thing that cuts out. For whatever reason, whenever there's an issue with Streamlabs or YouTube. That's why I play, that's one of the reasons why I play the music in my ear, is because in that way I can kind of know that something is going wrong. I learned that in the very beginning when I first started doing these live streams. I learned that the music cuts out first. And that kind of allows me to know that there's something wrong, because otherwise I would be just sitting here talking, not realizing that something had gone wrong. Rita says, then again, when I first heard the music, I went to see if the neighbors were playing their music in the background, in the backyard. Ha ha ha. Oh, that's funny, Terry. I cannot say that I remember that, but I'm sure other people do. That's really funny. She says she used to call her brother Mumbles because he reminded her of a character on a television show. I'm not going to say the name of the character and name of the television show just because I don't want YouTube to try and do anything weird. Joyce raises her hand. I'm actually kind of surprised it let you say that, to be honest. I thought that was a canceled word, like a blocked word, so. Good, I'm glad that it didn't block you. That it used a little bit of common sense. I remember the show. He wore the big yellow suit, right? The yellow coat, yellow jacket. Give me a minute. I gotta remember which way to do this. Now, do I sew on this side and roll to the other? Yes, I do. That's how I do it. Yep. Took me a second, but I got it. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and get the binding started. When you are working with a binding, you never start on an edge. Just makes your life easier when you're trying to match things up later on, because it is really hard to do it on an edge. So I always start about a third of the way down from one edge. So, I mean a corner, not an edge, a corner. So I do about 6 or 8 inches is usually what I leave myself. And then I go about a third of the way down, and that's where I usually start. I do have to flip out for the different presser foot. Teresa Lynn says she also remembers that show. I'm sure Mama Joyce would remember it as well if she were here. For me, it was always replays. I never got to watch the originals, but I do remember the show. Alright. Go. Needle down. Did you know about the stripes? Yikes. Sorry. Did I know about the stripes? Stripes. No, I don't know anything about stripes. What about the stripes? Wasn't that, were there stripes on his coat, or what are we talking about here? Okay. Somehow my chair went up again. There we go. We're going to go ahead and get started. We've got about 15 minutes left on this stream, so we're just going to go ahead and get started with it. This will obviously be something that I end up finishing off camera, but that's okay. I don't mind. This one is going to be quick and easy to finish off camera. I will likely finish it tomorrow, because I do have plans of things I need to do today after the stream. If there's time after my stream and before the game, then I'll probably come back to it, but it probably won't be finished until tomorrow evening. Unfortunately. We'll see. I use 2.5 inch strips for my binding. I have read that you can use 2 1/4 inch strips as well. I don't know, I've tried 2 1/4, and I just feel like I've stressed myself out with the amount of space I have to pull over. To, you know, pull it over. So I just use 2 1/2. You know, what's the sense in stressing myself out? Okay. Go ahead and grab this. And I'll go ahead and miter the corners. I've shown that how I do that on the channel before. Without having the zoom cam here, it's a little bit more difficult to show you guys how I do that. Oh, about the YouTube strikes. No problem, no problem. Yeah, there can be kind of picky sometimes. So I'm just careful about what I say out loud, that's all. In chat it's okay, as long as the bot doesn't, you know, block you, which I'm kind of surprised by that the bot didn't catch that. But it's totally fine. Totally fine. We knew you meant, you weren't. There was no ill will there. There was no foul intentions. Not a big deal. I just don't want to say it out loud. That's all. That's all. I'm not taking any chances. Hi, baby girl. I didn't even see you sneak in there. Yes, the bot should have probably blocked that. I'm not quite sure. Oh, darn it. I ran out of bobbin thread and didn't even know it. Or I ran out of some type of thread. I just sewed up that whole thing and it never even took. So the thread must have come out of my needle and I didn't notice. Oops. Yeah, the bot should have collected it for some reason and it didn't, so not sure why. We'll have to figure that out. Oh, yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna run out of thread. Well, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be fine. There we go. There we go. Alright. Let go. I don't think it's a matter of it being copywritten. I was thinking Streamlabs bot. Sorry, not YouTube bot. Streamlabs bot. And I think it was just the words. If that makes any sense. So I was kind of surprised that it let you. That it didn't block you. Kind of shocked by that, if I'm being honest. Not a big deal, Terry. I'm really not worried about it. And it wouldn't have been YouTube's bot, it would have been Streamlabs. Anyway, yeah, exactly. Moving on. She says, LOL, I got it now. Yeah. Okay, good. No worries. No worries. Alright. Now I actually have thread in the needles, so we can do this side again. That was annoying. I'm definitely going to run out of thread. Hopefully there's enough thread on this spool to do this project. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see if I'm gonna have to see if I can figure out what color this is so I can get some more of it. So I really like it. It's like a burgundy. It's like a dark burgundy. It's really pretty and it seems to match up really well. It's a nice shade of red. It's not a real bright red, so it's worked out real well for our Christmas stuff. And for our, obviously our Valentine's Day stuff as well, as opposed to being a bright red. So I'm going to have to see if I can find another spool of it. Am I going to use this or am I going to gift it? I will probably bring it to work and use it as a design piece at work, at least for a little while, if I can finish it in time. But then I will most likely bring it back here and use it as a decor piece here in our studio for this time of the year. Because I have some changes I need to make. I want to make to some of the decor in here. Trying to move some things around a little bit. And I'd like to be able to display some of these pieces a little bit more often than I'm able to right now. So that's the plan. So I plan to keep this one, although I will be probably displaying it in my office at work. But no, I don't plan to gift this one, no. I have another Valentine's Day one. I'm not sure if I finished that one or not. I can't remember now. That I will probably gift to Mama Joyce at some point. Yes, Lucas. Yes. That's I was kind of surprised that it didn't catch it. Again, Terry has done nothing wrong, and it was perfectly fine that she used it. I just was kind of surprised that it didn't get caught. Rita, I like that. It's just a matter of perspective, right? I like that. She says, you know, when you run out of thread, it's just because you're pre-drilling the needle holes for the thread later. Haha. There you go. It's just a matter of perspective. I like that. Oh, wow, you put your binding on top first instead of the back. Is that better to do it that way? I think it's a matter of preference. Whatever you prefer. In this case, since it's a solid color, that's just the way I prefer to do it. That way the front has this really pretty, nice look to it, and the back has kind of got that little bit of a bunch to it. That's just the way I prefer it. I mean, you could do whatever you feel is best and however you feel is appropriate for you. This is the way I've learned how. I've been doing it for a while. Whether it's right or wrong, I'm not sure. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's any better or worse. It's just my preference. It works the same either way. I am, however, working on something, and I keep teasing you guys about it a little bit, because if it doesn't work, I'm not going to show it to you. But if it does work, I'm going to show it to you. But that particular way of doing things, you do have to do it. Start at the back and pull it to the front. Look, it says time to put Terry in timeout. Maybe in context it didn't block it. You know, you'd think, but the bot's really not that smart. It's just looking at words. Time to put Terry in timeout. Oh, hi Katie! Welcome back to the channel. Happy Sunday morning to you. Or Super Bowl Sunday, if you are so inclined. Oh, I do the binding where it has 2 different colors. That's when you want to do it the way you're doing it, and that's actually what I'm trying out. Yes, that is actually what I'm trying out, Rita. I'm actually doing that with another quilt. And that's why I really haven't said anything to anybody about it, because I wasn't sure if it actually works or not. But I'm glad to hear that somebody else does it, so that means it does work. But in those cases, when you do it that way, then yeah, you definitely want to flip it the opposite way. Because otherwise the frame doesn't really work out. In this case, it's a solid color, so I just do it this way. Flange binding. That's what it's called. I couldn't remember what it was called. I'm trying it out for the very first time on another quilt that I'm working on. But it sounds like it works, so that is what I'm trying out. I saw a Facebook video on it not too long ago. I didn't even know it was a thing. I just saw a Facebook video on it not too long ago, and I have one project that I have not put the binding on it yet because I can't seem to figure out. I couldn't seem to figure out what color binding I wanted to put on it, and that's when I saw that flange technique, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could use both colors. Like, and that would totally work for what I wanted it to do. So I've started doing that. It'll be my first time doing it. If it works, then I'm just definitely going to share it here on the channel of how I did it, how I got it to work. For others that might be interested. Katie's asking everybody how they're doing today. Katie, I am doing fabulous. Thank you very much for asking. Just checking off another project off of my Whips and UFOs list, which I'm really excited about. It is 12:30 here. We're going to go until I finish at least this top section here. I'm just about done. I've got another side and a half left to go. So we'll continue on until I'm finished with this here. That'll be a good place to stop. Ooh, chat went too fast. That paper piecing one I did with those pieces was the flange binding on it. I just made the flange part larger as I wanted to frame the frame appearance. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Well, I found a video on Facebook of how to create the flange look with 2 different colors of fabric. So I am trying it out on one of my other quilts to see if I like it. Like I mentioned before that it's okay if I don't like it because I'm gifting this quilt away anyway, so I won't have to look at it. If it doesn't turn out the way I want it to or the way I'm picturing in my head, that's okay because I won't be seeing it anyway. And if it does turn out, well, that's also okay because that just means I'll do it again for another project. Melanie says, I've used the flange binding on several projects. It makes it pop. Well, I am really excited about this then. I thought it was some type of trade secret, and here I am behind the 8 ball. Everybody else is already doing it. That's all right, though. That's okay. have never seen it before. Honestly, I had never seen it done before, and I saw this video on Facebook, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's gonna work out perfectly. So I thought I was the only one that knew about it. LOL, don't have to look at it. Well, I mean, it's the truth. If it turns out it's a project I don't necessarily like, that's okay, because I'm gifting it away, so it's fine. Yes, Terry, I can do a video on it. If it turns out to work correctly, then yes, I will absolutely do that. I like to try and master the technique. Not necessarily master it, but at least practice the technique before I put it on camera, so then that way I don't look like a complete idiot. So I always like to test things out off camera first, just to make sure I have a general idea of what it is I'm doing before I try and show you guys what I'm doing. Because I like to share all my trade secrets. I figure if I didn't know about it and I'm learning it, then maybe somebody else on the channel didn't know about it either, and they can learn from it as well. Alright, we are just getting ready to round our last corner here. Hi, Katie. Welcome back to the channel. And Marlene, welcome back. Hello, how are you? I hope you're well. I can't say that I've ever seen that name in chat before. You're probably an avid lurker, and that's okay. 20 years ago, I used to use that technique on a quilt, but at the time we called it piping. It wasn't filled, but it still gave the same look. Oh, well, there you go. So apparently, I am just the one that's new to the party. Which is usually the case. It's usually the case. So I'm not worried about it at all. But I'm glad to hear that everybody else is making it work. And I don't have some kind of fancy secret. Katie says, I use flange binding in most of my quilts. Oh my gosh. Apparently I am late to the party. Why didn't anybody else tell me? Why am I the last to know? That's alright though. That's okay. I guess it's something new for me to learn then. I saw the first So Easy YouTube, and the first time I did it, I sewed it backwards, so practice it first. Good advice. Good advice. Yeah, I have the pieces cut up, and I'm just putting them, the strips together. I'm just sewing up the strips together so that the strips in one, you know, and then I'm going to sew the strips actually together. So haven't gotten there yet. Melanie. So on an MSQ tutorial, I think, of course you did. Because, you know, again, I'm always the last one to know. That's okay though. That's alright. Of course. I'm always the last one. It's alright. Alright, we are getting ready to round. We have just rounded our last corner, and now we're getting ready to meet up our pieces. It does look like I am going to have enough fabric. I was worried there for a second that I was going to be short. But I have plenty. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit closer to the edge. A little bit closer to the edge. That's probably good where I'm at. So I'll just back tack that. Alright, and here's Mama Joyce's favorite part of binding, is putting the two pieces together. I think that's everybody's favorite part. So I'm going to lay this flat, make sure it's nice and flat. I got this extra long tail on this end, and that's totally fine for now. I'm going to flip it up. Trying to get it towards the center there. Flip this piece up towards the center. I'm not going to cut there. I'm actually just going to cut a small piece on the end here because I need it to measure. So just like a 1 to 1.5 inch piece. I need that to measure. Now I'm going to open it up. So here's my fold. I'm going to open it up like this, and that's how I'm going to lay it down where those two pieces meet. I'm going to cut the top one. Okay. Then I'm going to fold that over. Cut the bottom one. There we go. And now these two pieces need to overlap. Open them both up. Lay this one that way flat. Lay this one on top of it. So the edges line up. Bring it over to the sewing machine and sew corner to corner. Make sure all my edges line up the way I want them to. They're a little off, so let me just line those back up. There we go. That's better. Roll this one up just a little bit. Make sure everything lays nice and flat. Put my needle down. All right. Rinda, I was a binding tucker for years. Just call it a Danny double binding. There you go. Oh, looks like I miscalculated my measurements, and I went a little bit too big. Because it still doesn't match up. It does match up there, but there's too much here. So I obviously measured something wrong. And I do this all the time. So give me just a second here, folks. I think I double measured. I actually, as I was doing this, I was pretty sure in my head, I'm going, I don't think that's right. Because it wasn't. Let me pull that out for just a second. I gave myself a little bit too much. You're only supposed to fold on one side. I folded on both. So see, even I do it wrong sometimes. Okay. Let's try this again. Fold them over so that they meet. Oh yeah, that's why it's, oh, way too much. Way too much. Wow, okay. So let's do this. Let's grab this one here. Go to about there. I see what I did wrong. Go. Alright, now. Lay that nice and flat. Grab that one, lay this one on top of it, and cut there. There we go. There we go. Now it should work. Alright, so open that one up there. That's my measuring piece. Grab this one here. Bring the pieces up together so that they're nice and close. There we go. Bring this one up. This one needs to lay on top of this one. Sorry, just talking to myself. It's fine. No worries. Everything's just fine. There we go. That's better. Can already feel that, like, being better. Put that needle down. All right. Go. Maybe that's why I tucked it into the other one. Yeah, that's a tucker. Yep. All right, now it's like much better. There we go. I just measured it wrong the first time. So let me go ahead and trim this bulk off here. Always lays weird. There we go. And then go ahead and I'm just going to finger press it flat on the inside myself. I don't need to really hit it with the iron. I mean, I could, but I don't really need to. Just finger it. Finger press it. So it lays semi-flat. Alright, and then go ahead and sew the rest of that back up. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Alright, let's finish this up and then we will be able to, and then we will say goodbye for this week. There we go. Off camera, I will go ahead and finish this up. And once it's finished, I will try to remember to take a picture of it and post it to our community page on YouTube. And of course our Facebook page as well. There we go. Yes, this Wednesday is Wild West Wednesday, yes. Those are some serious scissors. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are definitely some serious scissors. They're that multi-chrome. I love them. I love these scissors. They're my favorite. Grandma Joyce complains about them because she says they're really heavy. But I like them. Alright, friends. So we have got the front side of our binding all set up and ready to go. All we'll need to do now is we'll need to press it open. I'm going to actually iron mine open just to make sure that it stays that way. And then I'm going to roll it like this and sew it to the back side, and then that way it'll look really nice and neat and organized. Looks like my stitch that I had along the outside is still there. That's all right though. It's fine. You could also use a decorative stitch for this if you wanted to as well. A decorative stitch goes really nicely. Also, I've got some heart stitches here. I might do that. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, but that's what it's going to look like. You can see kind of what it looks like right there. So ta-da, ta-da. So yeah, I think it's going to look out really nice once it's done. That red was really going to break it up really nicely. It's going to look really great. So, alright friends, well thank you again so much for hanging out with me today. I'm sorry about all the camera issues that I'm having the last couple of days, but I assure you a new camera is on its way, so hopefully by next week or even by Wednesday, things will look a little bit better. 5 birthdays this month, Marie. My goodness. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. My goodness. But no worries. No worries at all. But thanks again, folks, for hanging out with me today. I'm sorry the puppy cam was set up, but there wasn't a whole lot of puppies today because I forgot to grab treats to bribe them to come in. But that's all right. It kind of is what it is. But anyway, you guys have a great rest of your weekend, rest of your week. Don't forget, we will be back here live on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Lucas will be joining us. We'll be working on clue number 7. Oh, there comes a puppy. My goodness. Something's happening. Wild West Wednesday is this week, and then we'll be back again. Okay, there she goes again. I don't understand what's happening. But either way. All right, friends. You have a great rest of your weekend. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to you. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you all again on Wednesday. Talk to you later. Bye for now.
So now can you tell me where you want to be in time? There's a million different places and a million different heights. I'll climb the tallest of the mountains, the highest place I find, so that I can look over before me what is mine. Can you say that? Disappear.